The ocean was trying to kill us both, but it was her lips turning blue that finally made me panic. I'm talking ice blue, the color of death, not the sky blue they'd been an hour ago when she was still yelling at me for dragging her onto that stupid yacht in the first place. Now Victoria Ashford, the woman who'd fired 3 VPs before breakfast and once made a board member cry with a single raised eyebrow, was curled against my chest on a piece of floating deck, shaking so hard I felt it in my bones. Victoria, hey, boss, stay with me. She didn't answer. Only her teeth chattering gave proof she was still alive. I wrapped my soaked suit jacket tighter around her shoulders. Useless. The wind cut like knives. Salt stung every cut on my hands. My daughter's little face flashed in my mind, Mia, 6 years old, waiting at my sister's house for a dad who might never come home. Then Victoria's voice, barely a whisper, cracked the night open. Ethan, will you help me get warm? I froze. Not because of the cold. Because the Ice Queen of Ashford Enterprises just used my first name for the first time in 3 years, and asked me for something no employee handbook ever prepared me for. I pulled her closer. Skin to skin was the only way. I knew that from the survival course I took after my wife died. Body heat. Friction. Heartbeat against heartbeat. She buried her face in my neck. Her breath burned hot against my frozen skin. I'm scared, she murmured. I don't want to die out here. You're not dying, I said, voice rough. Not on my watch. That was the exact moment the universe decided to flip our entire world upside down. But none of that started on the yacht. It started 5 hours earlier, with the most embarrassing text I've ever sent in my life. 5 hours earlier, Ashford Enterprises annual retreat, Karachi Marina. I was supposed to be watching Mia chase seagulls on the pier, but my phone buzzed with another email from her. Subject, final headcount for yacht dinner. From, V. Ashford. Message, Ethan, confirm 48 guests plus dietary restrictions. Now. I sighed. Of course the CEO wanted perfection at 7:42 p.m. on a Friday. I started typing. Yes ma'am, all set. Even swapped the vegan option for. Autocorrect betrayed me. I hit send before I saw it. Yes ma'am, all set. Even swapped the vegan option for your favorite, can't wait to see you in that dress tonight, gorgeous. My stomach dropped to the ocean floor. That last part was meant for Sarah, the single mom from Mia's kindergarten who'd been flirting with me for weeks. Not for Victoria Ashford. Not for the woman who'd once told CNBC she didn't have time for feelings. I tried to unsend. Too late. Delivered. I stared at the screen, waiting for the termination email that would end my career. Instead, 3 dots appeared. Then disappeared. Then appeared again. My phone rang. Private number. I answered with the enthusiasm of a man walking to the gallows. Ethan speaking. Outside. Now. Her voice was low, dangerous, and something else I couldn't name. I stepped off the yacht's gangway. A black Mercedes idled at the curb. Tinted window rolled down. Victoria Ashford leaned out. Red dress hugging every curve I'd pretended not to notice for 3 years. Hair loose for once. Eyes glittering like the sea at midnight. Get in, she said. I got in. She didn't speak until we were doing 120 kilometers per hour down the coastal road. You think I'm gorgeous? She asked, never taking her eyes off the road. That was. Answer me. Yes, I said. The truth tasted like salt and terror. She pulled over so fast my seatbelt locked. Then she kissed me. Not a polite peck. A full-on, world-tilting, I've been holding this in for years kiss that tasted like champagne and desperation. When she pulled back, her lipstick was smeared and her chest was heaving. I'm tired of being cold, she whispered. Take me somewhere warm, Ethan. I should have said no. She was my boss. I was a widowed single dad with a Mickey Mouse backpack in my trunk. This was career suicide wrapped in heartbreak. Instead I said, my place is 20 minutes away. We never made it. That's when the storm hit. Present moment, 400 kilometers offshore, 2:13 a.m. Victoria's fingers dug into my back as another wave slammed us. Tell me about her, she gasped between shivers. Your daughter. Mia, I said, holding her tighter. She lost her first tooth yesterday. Put it under her pillow for the tooth fairy. I promised I'd be home to see what the fairy left. Victoria laughed, a broken sound. You believe in fairies? I believe in keeping promises to 6-year-olds. She went quiet. Then, I've never kept a promise to anyone. Not even myself. The confession hung between us like smoke. I grew up in boarding schools, she continued. My parents sent money instead of hugs. I learned that if you're cold enough, long enough, people stop trying to warm you. So I stayed cold. Built an empire out of it. Another wave. Bigger. We clung harder. I'm 35 years old and I've never let anyone hold me, she said. Not once. I tilted her chin up. Her eyes were oceans I wanted to drown in. Let me be the first. She kissed me then. Not like in the car. This was slow, deliberate. Like she was memorizing the shape of second chances. Hours blurred. We talked about everything. She told me how she cried in the shower so no one would hear. I told her how I still set 2 places at the dinner table some nights out of habit. She admitted she kept my employee file on her desk because my smile in the photo was the only genuine one she'd seen in years. I admitted I'd been in love with her since the day she carried Mia on her hip through the office when my nanny quit without notice. Dawn painted the sky pink when we saw the fishing boat. They hauled us aboard wrapped in blankets and each other. Victoria refused to let go of my hand even when the medics tried to separate us. 3 weeks later, Karachi General Hospital, room 412. The door opened. Mia tiptoed in holding a crayon drawing. Daddy. Is the pretty lady awake? Victoria sat up, hair wild, for in her arm, still the most beautiful woman I'd ever seen. She's awake, baby, I said. Mia climbed onto the bed and placed the drawing in Victoria's lap. It was 3 stick figures holding hands under a rainbow. One had yellow hair and a tie, me. One had brown curls and a pink dress, Mia. The tallest one had black hair and a crown. For you, Mia whispered. Daddy said you're our family now. Victoria's eyes filled. She looked at me like I'd handed her the world. Is that true? She asked. I knelt beside the bed. Pulled out the ring I'd bought with my entire bonus, simple white gold, because she once said diamonds were cold. Victoria Ashford, I said, will you marry us? She laughed through tears. Only if you promise to keep me warm for the rest of my life. Deal. Mia squealed and launched herself at both of us. 1 year later, same marina, sunset. The yacht was ours now. Renamed Second Chance. Victoria stood at the bow in a white sundress, no shoes, hair flying wild. Mia danced around her legs. I wrapped my arms around them both from behind. Still scared of the ocean? I teased. She turned, eyes soft. Not when I'm with you. Then she did something that would break the internet if anyone recorded it. The former ice queen dropped to one knee in front of the entire company picnic. Ethan Harris, she said, voice carrying over the waves, I once asked you to help me get warm. You gave me a whole damn fire. Will you let me spend the rest of my life keeping you and Mia just as warm? Mia gasped. Say yes, Daddy. I pulled her up into my arms. Yes. 1,000 times yes. We kissed as the sun sank into the sea, painting everything gold. Because sometimes the scariest storms don't destroy you. They melt you. And if you're lucky, they leave you holding the person who was cold for way too long, and finally teach them how to burn. Hey you. Yes, you still reading this with tears in your eyes. If this story made your heart feel warmer than Victoria's first night in Ethan's arms, do me a favor real quick. Smash that like button so hard the algorithm knows love always wins. Subscribe and hit the bell because next week we're dropping billionaire's fake fiancée got pregnant after one night in his jet. And she was his best friend's little sister. Drop I believe in second chances in the comments if you're team Ethan and Victoria forever. And remember, the next time life leaves you stranded in the cold, look for the person willing to share their warmth. They might just be your forever. See you in the next one, family. Now go call someone you love. I'll wait. Red Heart.